Okay, the purpose of this video is to show you how to use your TI-84 or a TI-83. They both work a lot the same. To solve systems of equations by graphing. And of course, it's really important that you understand that in order to plug these equations into the graphing calculator, that they need to be in slope intercept form, or y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we have just a couple of examples here of solving systems of equations by elimination. So what I'm going to do on my graphing calculator, I'm going to go ahead and click on graph. Okay, now notice that the parameters are -10 to 10 on the x and -10 to 10 on the y. We can change those if we need to, but let's go ahead and start off by graphing. And so once we're into the graph mode, we can go ahead and click on y equals. And you don't necessarily have to hit graph first. You can go ahead and click on y equals and it would bring you straight to this screen right here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 2x minus 3. So you're going to click on 2, and the x is this guy right here, 2x, and then minus 3. That's pretty easy peasy, right? Now to get down to the next line, so this is the first equation, and to get down to the second equation right here. Now notice we have a -3 at first. You do not want to use the subtraction sign for a -3. You want to use this to say, hey, this is a negative number. So go ahead and click on -3x, and then plus 2. Okay, good. Now, in order for it to graph, we'll go ahead and click on graph. There's our first graph. There's our second graph. This makes sense because this is a positive slope, so it would match with the 2x. Okay, and this is a negative slope, so it matches with the -3x plus 2. Now, not only are you graphing this, but we can also tell the calculator, hey, what in the world is the intersection? And so up above the trace button, you can see it says calc. We're going to go ahead and click on second calculate, and we're going to want to find the intersection. Now it says, hey, first curve, and it's got this first equation highlighted. This first line, I should say, 2x minus 3. Go ahead and click on enter. Second curve, notice that it's blinking up here. Maybe you can't see it very well. I can move it over so you can see it a little bit better. But it's saying, hey, you want this to be the second curve? And you say yes. And it says guess. You don't need to. In fact, I always just skip this altogether. I just click on enter, and it tells me that it intersects at 1 and -1. Pretty cool, huh? Now, I wanted to go ahead and clear those out, and I wanted to show you how you would enter a fraction into our graphing calculator. And it's really simple. Many students don't think of equations like fractions as a division situation, but it really is a division sign. So, all right, we have our -5/3, so we're going to go -5, and I'm going to use the divide sign. Okay, -5/3 x plus 1. Okay, and then -1 divided by 3 x minus 3. Go ahead and click on graph. And there we are. There it is. Now I want to figure out what is that intersection right there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on calculate. Sorry about that. Click on calculate and click on intersect. First curve, second curve, and guess. So we have an intersection at 3 and -4, and that's where these two would intersect. So that's a pretty cool way to graph, but remember, it has to be in slope interform, y equals mx plus b form, in order to graph these correctly. I hope this helps. Go give